I hope you guys had a good week. I know I missed everything that is going on. Yeah. Okay, I'm fine, Diana. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, Charles. Welcome, everyone. This week has been crazy everywhere in the internet. Guys have been following everything that's happening, right? Am I right? With Russia and Ukraine especially. Am I right? You can unmute your mic or put it in the chat if you will. Yeah. So yeah. And you can attest to it, like we've been talking about it for a while now. We have been like going over for like 3 weeks, I think. We've been going over what could happen with Ukraine, with Russia and everything. Let me get to the screen. So my heart goes out to everyone that is there, that is being affected by this, just political war. In as much as I'm a trader and, it caused a lot of volatility that pushed all of my trades to, where they're supposed to go. At the same time, like a lot of people are dying, a lot of people are losing their homes, a lot of people are losing their livelihood, foreigners, especially Nigerians that are schooling there. I personally don't have family there, but I know a lot of my friends and contacts and everyone that has like people there, they have the best medical college and all of that. So it's just frustrating. Like we really don't need something like this. And I hope like they resolve it soon. But reading the news and so many things, I hope it is short-lived. We can only pray and hope like it is short-lived and it doesn't escalate to different points. So yeah, so quickly, let's get into the charts. I actually planned that before we started technical analysis today, I would like to go over just a few personal development stuff for you guys, but I think we'll start that next week. Just talk about fear, panic, anxiety, how to deal with all of those things, basically how to deal with your emotions and not allow them control you. And we are in control of our own body, of our own mind. So we need to be able to control it as much as possible and filter what we listen to, filter what we see, especially with social media and everything. Social media is great. It's great for branding. It's great for so many things. It has helped a lot of people, but at the same time, you need to know when to just not be there. I personally get a lot of news from Twitter. But I found out like it just creates a lot of panic. So I rarely go to Twitter these days, and when I'm there, the timeline is just full of so many things. But that's just me anyways. I know a lot of people make their money off Twitter, but just filtering what you listen to, what you see, and not allowing it to get into your emotions, just like finding a way to control that. Because when it gets inside of you, when it gets inside your emotions, you begin to react in a way of panic. You begin to just react to different things. Little things will trigger you. You just get sad. It might be the Russia war that is getting you sad. You might be thinking like, oh, why is the entire world like this? Then it might now start coming to your entire life and start overthinking and so many things. And what that does is that it opens the windows in your heart and in your life to so many disorganization. God is not the author of confusion, and he doesn't want you to also be confused. He really wants us to be organized in our thoughts. And there is nothing organized about what is going on in our world right now. That's why it's very important that we constantly protect our energy, constantly protect our minds, and protect ourselves as much as we can, as much as we really can. You don't have to stay online for 24 hours or even most part of the day. You don't have to crave for information online. And even if it's physical people that you need to like seclude from, yeah, do what you need to do, right? So yeah. So let's get into the chat. Okay, what did I do? Which one should we start with? Can someone suggest which one we should start with? We'll go over what happened last week and all of that. You can unmute your mic and say it if you want. But let me check the chat. E.g., Euro GBP. I don't trade Euro GBP, but I think I checked it for my friend. Euro GBP. I don't trade it, so I really don't have the markup, but I think I did. Yeah, I checked it for my friend this week. And when we checked it, it was here, and I drew this minor structure trend line here and said, okay, you should wait for it to pull back because you wanted to go in for a buy, and then wait for it to like take the buy around here to this take profit level here. So currently where it is at, I can't. Euro GBP is such a strong pair, strong pair. So I have to find out like where it's coming from and all of that. Okay, so it's currently in a weekly descending channel. I know I had to go up to the higher time frame. So it's in a weekly descending channel, and this is a previous support zone that is now resistance. So if price should go up, this is 4 hour, that's a zone that we are looking at anyways for it to react to, either break and get to this weekly trend line over here, that yellow weekly line. But for now, it just finished a push up. It just finished a push up last week, Friday. So this was what it did here. So this is 1 hour. I would wait for a valid break and retest of this green one, or wait for a retest of this blue zone here. Wait for a retest of this blue zone here once price opens, to continue that buy, because I can move my fibs. Yep, we can wait for it around this zone to see what it does, to continue the buy up. But okay, so what I just saw for him was it's in a descending channel on a weekly level, but that is weekly, right? It's what's happening like on the really, really higher time frame. So I'll wait for a retest around this blue zone and see to carry it to the next zone. That's a basic thing. Is that all right? Okay. All right, so let's move to BTC. So yes, looking at BTC was again really, really beautiful, very amazing. I have seen beauty before, but I've not seen such beauty. as BTC because I said I didn't really have a markup last week, and we were around this purple zone. And that's a daily zone, right? Sorry about my chart that is shrinked up. Let me try to do this. So we're at this daily zone over here, and I did analyze BTC last week. So I sent an update on Monday morning. So as at Monday, we had already had this push down and push up for BTC. So I sent the video on the Telegram group, and yes, I have. I sent a video on the Telegram group, and analyzed it to be in this channel over here, and I still see it coming down to this level and touching this daily first take profit here. So with Fibonacci, we have the first take profit as negative 27.8%, and that was exactly what it did. It came down to around 35,000. Of course, the war triggered it, but it did trigger it to that zone, on Thursday, and then immediately did a pullback up. Everything virtually reversed the same day. The same Thursday, everything did a reversal, or Friday morning or so. So if you've noticed, I've switched the colors of my candlesticks. My bearish is now like green, turquoise, something like that. Yeah, because I like to switch things up sometimes. So it got to this zone. Now, currently where we are with BTC, it went back to retest that daily zone. And I have a bars pattern for BTC because I was anticipating where, it's going to go. I do believe BTC is going to keep, consolidating in this area. After a major push, we are going to have a little bit of consolidation also before we get another major push. But, with everything that is happening in the world right now, the entire market is like risky. And I've mentioned before, like if investors consider BTC as a safe haven, as something that we can keep money in, they're going to keep buying BTC, and the value of BTC is going to go up, right? But if not, it should just keep going down like the other currencies. So for this week, I'm anticipating BTC to keep, pushing to this zone over here. And if it keeps pushing up, first of all, this is where I'm looking for it to go, this green zone here, to retest it, right? To retest that zone before we can, see what it does. Yeah, and if Russia doesn't accept negotiations and there's another attack, it might probably send it back. But the first place I'm watching, first move for BTC is this move down, because it's in this ascending channel here. Let me remove this. Can you see? Not ascending channel, but like in a consolidation really. So if this breaks and retests and carry it to this, I watch it because I can't put a Fibonacci on this yet. So if it breaks and retests, and then carry it to the next zone down there. But that's just like minor structure. You need to understand how to like trade it in and out for you to get out of it, because it's inside of a consolidation. Price can easily break and pull back and all of that. So I do expect BTC to consolidate for a while, drop back to 37,000, come back to 39,000 and all of that. So yes. with the dollar index. Now, we already spoke about this, that what's going to happen when the war happens. So, and that's exactly what happened when the attack actually happened with, Russia. So the dollar index rose up to a high that it hasn't touched since 2020. So it rose up that high. Sorry. Went really high. So got up to this level, and the last time it came here was around July 2020. And then, yeah. So it means like, because USD is one of the world's reserve currency, so that's why it pushed up like that. Same with gold. Gold is a safe haven asset, which also pushed up to a high that it hasn't gotten to since 2021, since January 2021. So with the dollar index, so after that push up, we saw a push down. I'm watching for it to finish this sell that it's doing, over to this zone, or even over to this trend line. Once it gets to this zone, we'll know if it will come to this trend line. If it gets to this trend line, then we're waiting for the trend line to either respect or break. So something like this, it will finish the sell, but this is a higher time frame. So since we are already in this D2 zone over here, it might just do a little push up and then expect it to come down a little. Just expect it to get there. Trading in these times is very, 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 very fragile. The economy and the market is very fragile. There's a lot of volatility though, but like it's very, very fragile. Then next, I'm just trying to get over everything. Get through everything rather. Then we have gold. So again with gold, last week we were around this area. Where were we with gold? So for our so we did say like first of all, the first move for gold last week was a push down. I don't have my chart because it actually deleted, and so I had to like first start doing it all over again. I think I usually mistakenly press this delete this entire thing, but so I had to do it all over again. So last week the first move for gold was actually a sell, and it sold 100 pips down when the market opened. I took that sell, and then because I know like we talked about gold being a safe haven, so it's really going to go up in the long run. So I waited for that and then pushed up to this 1971. So gold did about 700 pips up, 700 pips up, and then it reversed again, like 700 pips down also. Or is that 900? Okay, 900 pips down, because it kept going down to the end of the to the end of the market closing. So 900 pips down, and this happened because it got to a resistance area, because it got to a point, it touched a point where it hadn't been in like 2 years, no, in a year. In a year, the highest point it has been in a year, like a really high. And that's what happens with the markets. once there is a really high push, there is going to be a reversal of that push just to retest all those levels. It doesn't mean that if Russia attacks again or something happens, because as you can see, I'm reading so much on all of these. So everybody's just panicking everywhere. And then a lot of investors are looking for what to do and trying to see if what's happening next. A lot of countries are aligning with Ukraine, some are not. So all of those decisions. So if it happens and there's another huge attack on Ukraine, it's gonna cause it to go up. But for now, because of the DXY, pushing just up a little when the market opens, just the retracement, I'm expecting gold to finish this sell that it's doing over here. Finish the sell it's doing down to this weekly zone, or even down to this first take profit level. Then we can now wait for what it does. But if we have any breaking news, it's just send it up straight. And we're looking at this 19,000 area also. Then we move to US30. US30 was actually one of my I had the first trade this week. I told you guys on the group, and then it just played out beautifully. It just played out beautifully. First of all, when the market opened last week, we were around this area. Hold on. Last week we were around here and we said we wait for price to push up and retest and then take it up to this blue trend line over here, but it just got to this zone and that's where it started to sell off. I honestly just closed it around this area because it's US30 and I really don't want, I don't like wow. So and I also don't over trade. I already have the pairs that I trade, gold and GJ, so I don't really over trade something. Plus you want to take it like step by step, and that's one of the things that actually kills a lot of traders when they see like, okay, this thing is working, you won your first trade, second trade, third trade, fifth trade, you now start pushing a lot of lot sizes, adding to it, adding positions, all of that. I only took one position, because trading requires a lot of practice, and for you to be skilled at something, for you to be extremely skilled at it, you have to practice it. Imagine if a brain surgeon wants to do brain surgery for someone, and you had only read about it in the books and never practice it. The patients will be confident enough to allow him touch their brains because it's really a matter of life and death, which is what trading accounts to, which is what they are. So a lot of people just enter the forex market thinking like, okay, sure, we can buy, sell, we get money and all of that. It requires you to spend time on the charts. It requires you to practice, back test. Trading view is here, it's you and your charts. You have to back test. Before I started trading US30, I had to do a lot of back testing, get to know it more. That's when, now that I've started it again, not before. That was just I was disrespecting it, right? It's not like I have not traded it before. I had, and I gotten money from it, but it wasn't consistent as I wanted to be. So I had to go back test it a lot on all time frames and just spend time with it, So now you're able to read it. I'm able to read it and see what it's doing. Right. So it's just the psychology part that I had to break past from. So trading, as much as it is technical, also psychology also comes into play a lot of times. That's even 50% of the entire thing. How to handle your emotions when you're trading. So currently, now we had a monthly zone over here, or did I also go? think this was the monthly zone here where I said, I know we had a monthly zone. Did we delete that mistakenly? Okay, no, this is the monthly zone. This is the monthly zone, the black line. Okay, so this was where price came, on Tuesday. On Tuesday, price came here to this monthly zone before the entire war on Thursday, before the war broke out. So price was here last week when we analyzed it. It was around here last week. It did the buy that we said it was going to do, then dropped down to this monthly area. So that was even too good. Like if you're trading US 30 and you follow this, that's good to go. And then with the entire war, did this drop down and then reversed, literally bounced back. So I took part of this little buy around here to back to this monthly level, and then it has hit the take profit that I set for it. Currently, where US 30 is, because this momentum is is a lot of buy momentum. I'll wait for a little pullback. I can adjust my fibs to this, wait for a little pullback to this green to this blue trend line over here. That's this weekly level, and then a push up to this here. So the first take profit to see how the market reacts on Monday, but expecting it to continue this little buy over here. But if the war breaks out, it's going to just plunge down again. And we have our weekly level over here around 30,000 where it will come to. But for the first move, just a pullback. If it breaks this trend line, very steep trend line, breaks it and retest it, then the sell is going to happen down here, and then we'll wait for what it does to go up. All right, so if you're trading US 30, you don't want to deal with less than $1,000 and more than 0.01. Always have risk management. The market is not running away. There are a lot of opportunities, loads of opportunities. As you can see, if you missed the sell or the entire move when it happened on Thursday, you can always, the market literally gave it back. You can always get it back. It's always moving. It's forex market. It will always move, right? So yeah, that's it. And then for Euro USD and GBP USD, because the DXY, I have it, first of all, pulling back a little bit and then before going up. For Euro USD, also have it before going down rather. So since DXY is going down, I'm watching for Euro USD to come down to come to this green trend line again, because it actually alerted me when it got here before this entire push down, but I picked this order, but I left early because it got to this zone, because I already had like a few positions open, and I don't go outside of that. So this entire move played out. I put this Fibonacci here, so it hits this daily zone, which also correlates with the second take profit level. And then yeah, and that was amazing. That did for over 200 pips, 200 pip move with Euro USD, 230 pips move, 35 pips. So if that's on a standard, that's $2,000 in 2 days. For Euro USD, that's awesome. So I'm watching for it to go to this trend line over here and see if it will respect it. We already have 1, 2, 3 pushes from this trend line, so that indicates quite a strong trend line. But if it breaks and retests, we take it back to this next zone over here. So we're watching that. It is indeed forming some form of like a very steep trend, like an ascending trend, but we'll wait to see what it does. And yeah, just quickly on JPY, if you trade any JPY, so with JPY, like I've been really quite a little bit out of flow with it, but you know, with the move that happened on, you know, the 24th, it pushed it up because JPY is also some form of like a reserve currency. It's a reserve currency, so it pushed it up and then did the reversal also, right? So we are looking for it to, let me see, we're looking for JPY. Okay, so now it has hit this first take profit level to reverse a bit. If it respects this trend line here, then we'll carry it down. If it breaks it, we'll wait for the retest. And, you know, in correlation to GBP JPY, which also did a drop. Who remembers this drop that we have literally been waiting for since forever? Since forever, right? And I do think it's going to go down more. Okay, not what I think, right? What, like, I'm expecting it to, but it needs to really finish a pullback. It might literally pull back all the way to this 156, like it might pull back to the previous what's it called, support zone. So we want to be careful of that before it actually does another drop down. So I actually literally have everything pulling back a bit from the shock that happened to all the currencies, and hopefully things will be a little bit stable with everything going on with Russia. But we are in the weekends and we're in the middle of a war between two countries and the nations. NATO has said that they are going to send, you know, response to Ukraine and all of that. And we all know Russia's president said that nobody should interfere and all that. So, you know, he could get messy real quick. I won't be trading the pullbacks like that. I'll just wait for them to get to those points to see if they actually sell. Wait for the sell confirmations or wait for the buy confirmations to take them, right? So we are treading on, like, really on eggshells. We are working on eggshells with trading. But if you know what you're doing, you really need to take advantage of these moves. I didn't want to cancel today because, you know, because there's a lot going on, right? So you really want to take advantage of these moves. Thursday was a kind of day that people either doubled their accounts or lost their entire accounts. So look at GJ also did 300 pips. GU2 did 200 pips. So even if it's like 2 pairs you did on Thursday, like literally made your account, no matter the type of account you had, you know, it would literally just up that account and all of that. So let's take advantage, but trade with caution. So hope that's good. I'll try and set updates during the week. And yeah, I'll try and set updates during the week, especially for GJ and gold. Yeah. Do you have any questions so far? Then one more thing, you also have to watch out on Tuesday. President Biden, let me see, that's what I was reading now. He is going to have an announcement. So it says here that there are likely quite a number of investors who would agree with, okay, Basok, that's it called the market, Basok called the market fragile, right? So President Joe Biden is set to deliver what some are referred to as one of the most important addresses to the nation in recent memory. So now the Fed, the the United States, the Federal Reserve, that's like their central bank, they are planning on increasing interest rates because of the high inflation that is going on. Inflation has been part of our world since the pandemic and everything. So when they increase interest rates, it means that they are just trying to reduce spending in the economy, and that would cause the dollar to fall, which basically correlates with technical analysis, because if you look at this, it has gotten to a high, but I'm anticipating it to get to either of these zones over here. But with this Russia war, if it eventually hits this yellow trend line, their announcement is on the 16th. So if it hits this yellow trend line, then like USD is gonna come down. That's around 100. That's a lot. That's really, 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 really looking far. But yeah, the war can push it. So if they increase their interest rates, rather, it's going to weaken the currency, but they are doing it to strengthen the currency. But as traders, trading it is going to weaken it a little bit. So we have to watch out for what Joe Biden is planning to say on Tuesday. On Tuesday, aside for the other high impact news. Yes. So US also had like a few high impact news on Thursday, but that didn't matter because of the war. So yeah, that's it for today. If you guys don't have any questions, I'll end the call now, and then I'll send updates to the Telegram group, and then see you next week. Have a great trading week. Take advantage of this. Don't just attend these calls, right? You can, check your charts if it correlates. Don't be scared to enter. And yeah, have a great week.